Early Learning Trainer Credential. This webinar is designed to assist you in choosing the path that best fits your needs as a professional development provider to the early childhood providers in the field. My name is Avril Mills, and I'm the Professional Development Coordinator here at the New York State Association for the Education of Young Children. I'd like to start by sharing a brief history regarding the New York State Early Learning Trainer Credential. Back in 1997, a group of New York State trainers gathered and began to develop a process for vetting trainers in the state. At this time, the program was going to be administered through the SUNY Professional Development Program. In 2005, the New York State Association for the Education of Young Children received the information that was developed, and in partnership with the CUNY Professional Development Institute, the process was refined and rolled out in a pilot in 2009 with approximately 20 trainers. Based on the feedback received from the pilot, the process was revised and rolled out statewide in early 2010. There's been a second round of revisions related to the credential portfolio process, instructions, and scoring tool that were released in August of 2011. This chart is a great visual to show why the New York State Early Learning Trainer Credential was developed. The end goal is providing what is best for children, and that is high-quality programming. In order for this to occur, quality training must be provided to the early childhood providers in that direct care role. The New York State Early Learning Trainer Credential at this time has 3 approved trainer types to choose from: the Verified Trainer, the Content Specialist Trainer, and the Level 1, 2, or 3 Credential Trainer. By the end of this webinar, my hope is that you'll know which path best fits your needs. Please note that paths do overlap. For example, a Level 1, 2, or 3 Credential Trainer or a Content Specialist Trainer could also be a verified trainer. It's also important to note that these current approved trainer types are specific to face-to-face group trainings or consultations. These trainer types do not play a current role in distance learning or webinar formats. As of January 1st of 2014, any trainer must hold the appropriate approved trainer type for the content that they're delivering if they'd like to be an approved training organization with the SUNY Professional Development Program and receive educational incentive program dollars. It's important to note that a verified trainer can only accept EIP for professional development that they provide that's matched to their approved training of the trainer status. For example, if they're a first aid and CPR trainer, they can only receive EIP for first aid and CPR. A verified trainer cannot break apart content from the approved standardized training of the trainer format and apply for EIP. For example, a health and safety trainer cannot provide a standalone training on hand washing and receive EIP for that training. As a verified trainer, you are only approved to train on the standardized content as it was developed to be delivered. Content specialist trainers can only receive EIP for the content area in which they've been approved in. For example, an RN who's a content specialist in health and wellness can receive EIP for any content that they develop around health and wellness. Finally, a Level 1, 2, or 3 credential trainer can receive EIP for any content that they develop and deliver around the 7 areas of the core body of knowledge and the 9 OCFS training topic areas. Note that Level 1, 2, or 3 credential trainers do have an ethical obligation to only provide training content in areas that they hold the knowledge, experience, and expertise in. This is part of the NAEYC Code of Ethical Conduct for Adult Learners and is a strict guideline of maintaining the credential. Also, a Level 1, 2, or 3 credential trainer is eligible for an enhanced hourly rate of up to $35 an hour for content delivered. Please remember that all participants must be charged the same amount to attend a training held by an organization, whether they're paying out of pocket or using EIP dollars. As of January 1st of this year, the funding stream available to candidates wishing to obtain one of the New York State Early Learning Trainer Credential approved trainer types dissolved. Candidates are now responsible for all fees associated with each approved trainer type. Please note that this credential is not EIP eligible. Verified trainers are handled strictly through New York Works for Children, therefore there's no cost associated with this approved trainer type. The approved trainer type of content specialist is awarded through the New York State Association for the Education of Young Children. The cost of this approved trainer type is $75. The payment process is structured in two separate payments. The first payment is completed at the time of the intent to apply, and it's a $25 non-refundable application fee. Once determined eligible, the candidate is responsible for submitting the $50 assessment fee prior to the 30-day expiration. The approved trainer type of level 1, 2, or 3 credential is also awarded through the New York State Association for the Education of Young Children. The total cost for this credential is $350 barring a deferral. The payment process is structured in two separate payments. The first payment is completed at the intent to apply. It's a $100 non-refundable application fee. Once determined eligible, the candidate will have 30 days to complete the professional verification process and move into the 90-day portfolio process. The assessment and review fee of $250 is due with the portfolio submission. In the event of a deferral, an additional fee of $150 will be required for the second round review. Please note that failure to submit required paperwork within defined time frames can result in additional administrative and processing fees. Applications that go 30 days into expiration will be deactivated, and you will have to begin the process all over again. Aspire is the workforce registry for New York State. Trainers in New York State who would like to hold an approved trainer type must maintain an active Aspire profile. Prior to becoming a content specialist trainer and a level 1, 2, or 3 credential trainer, candidates must complete their Aspire profile and receive approval from New York Works for Children with their career ladder level to apply for either of these designations. So to begin the process of becoming an approved trainer, you'll go to www.nyworksforchildren.org. You'll create an Aspire profile, and in this profile, it will track training that you implement in addition to training that you have received. Aspire recommends that you gather all your documentation prior to submitting your profile, as you have 10 days to submit that supporting documentation once you've completed the online application. You'll create an individual professional profile and identify yourself as a trainer. You can also identify any other roles that you have in the field, for example, a director. Aspire streamlines any profile submitted that an individual has identified themselves as a trainer. Once your documentation is received at New York Works for Children, you will receive your approval within 6 to 8 weeks and will then be eligible to continue on with the process of becoming a content specialist trainer or a level 1, 2, or 3 credential trainer. Verified trainers will be completed once their Aspire profile is approved. The first New York State Early Learning Trainer Credential approved trainer type I'm going to discuss today is the Verified Trainer. This endorsement is for individuals who currently hold a Training of the Trainer certificate for approved standardized curricula in the state of New York. This avenue is also available for individuals who hold these certifications but maybe do not meet the minimum qualifications to become a level 1, 2, or 3 credential trainer or a content specialist trainer. Here are some of the examples of approved standardized training of the trainer curricula accepted currently in the state of New York. Some additional examples are the American Heart Association CPR and First Aid, OCFS Child Abuse and Maltreatment, and Creative Curriculum through Teaching Strategies. A full list can be found on the New York Works for Children website. Under the Coaches and Trainers tab, you'll be able to download a list of all of the approved training of the trainer curricula for the state. When we speak about assessment tools, we're looking to see that you've been trained to reliability by the issuing agency. For example, for the environmental rating scales, your letter from North Carolina will speak to the fact that you've been trained to reliability. Remember that if you accept EIP, you can only accept it for the approved to teach areas that you're verified for within your Aspire application as a verified trainer. To become a verified trainer, you must complete that individual professional profile on the New York Works for Children website. It's important that you identify yourself as a trainer when you start your profile, as this is going to provide additional tabs for you to complete in the application, and it's also going to give you the opportunity to be on the statewide trainer search. Once you submit that online application, you have 10 days to submit your supporting documentation to New York Works for Children, and the approval process through Aspire can take 6 to 8 weeks. Once approved, you'll receive your career ladder level and a certificate that includes your verified trainer status with the curricula you're approved to teach. Please remember it's your responsibility to keep your Aspire profile information up to date in the system. So if one of your certifications expires and you've not made this update, it will be removed from your profile for approved curricula, and you will no longer be able to accept EIP for that specific curricula. Do I have any questions regarding the verified trainer status? Ada? Okay. I did receive a question of what if you have the experience but lacking only the training. For a verified trainer, you have to have the instructor training for that specific curricula in order to obtain that status. So I'm not sure if that answers your question. So you've trained in the past, but in the state of Florida. So the state of New York does have some different rules. There's some curricula that goes across different states. For example, the American Red Cross, First Aid and CPR, American Heart Association, those types of things. But there is specific curricula that's in that approved to teach format for the state of New York. As far as training experience, you can use it if you have the education and experience for a content specialist trainer or a level 1, 2, or 3 credential trainer that we will be getting into in just a moment. You can use trainings that you've used in the past for those particular designations as long as they were done within the last 3 years. The second approved trainer type I'm going to discuss today is the content specialist trainer. This approved trainer type is awarded through the New York State Association for the Education of Young Children. This trainer type is available for individuals who provide professional development on important content to the development of a quality early care and learning program. These individuals may or may not have experience directly in the field of early care and learning. Currently, defined content specialist areas are family and social services. This could be a social worker or a community-based professional, such as a Planned Parenthood worker, special education and related services, fine or performing arts, technology, health and wellness, safety and security, program organization, leadership and communication, laws and regulations, business and finance. The eligibility criteria specifically focuses on the content being delivered. However, this is a guideline for what we're looking for. We do look at the field of the content and the education level required in that field to hold expertise in the content. For example, a social worker would need an MSW, where an RN would need their associates and a current RN license. To become a content specialist trainer, you'll again complete an individual professional profile through Aspire on the New York Works for Children website. Again, identifying yourself as a trainer and completing those additional boxes that come up once you click on them. Once you submit that online application, you'll have 10 days to submit your supporting documentation to New York Works for Children. Please remember to submit copies of your transcripts in addition to any degrees that you hold. The approval process through Aspire does take 6 to 8 weeks, and once approved, you'll receive your career ladder level and Aspire certificate. With this approval, you are then eligible to complete the intent to apply with the New York State Association for the Education of Young Children as a content specialist trainer on the New York State AEYC website. Please note that it is your responsibility to move into this process on your own once you've been approved through Aspire. You will not be automatically put into this process or contacted by a New York State AEYC to move you into this process. When completing your intent to apply, you will choose Content Specialist Trainer in the content area which you wish to be approved in, based on your education and experience. You'll pay the $25 non-refundable application fee. Once the form is submitted and New York State AEYC receives the application fee, you will be contacted within 10 business days to inform you of your eligibility for the approved trainer type of content specialist. Eligible candidates will have 30 days to complete this process with the New York State Association for the Education of Young Children. Once determined eligible, the $50 assessment fee is due and the professional experience verification will begin. Once the 3 references are received and verified, the status of Content Specialist Trainer will be awarded. Again, note that failure to comply with any time frames can result in additional fees. Also, applications that go inactive for a period of 30 days will be deactivated, and candidates will have to reapply with the New York State Association for the Education of Young Children. This is the verification of professional experience form that must accompany each letter of recommendation that's sent to the New York State Association for the Education of Young Children. Please note that all references must come directly from the writer. They will not be accepted from the candidate. New York State AEYC looks for a total of 3 references for the Content Specialist Trainer. One of the references must speak to 3 years of professional experience in the content area. One must speak to 1-year training experience for adults in the field of early care and learning, and the 3rd reference can be a combination of either of those. Do you have any questions on Content Specialist Trainer? The 3rd and final approved trainer type I will be discussing today is the Level 1, 2, or 3 Credential Trainer. This trainer type has the most flexibility in the content that you're approved to deliver. The Level 1, 2, or 3 Credential Trainer is able to create and present on content in all 7 core body of knowledge areas and 9 Office of Children and Family Services training topic areas. With that said, Credential Level 1, 2, or 3 trainers sign an attestation agreeing to follow the NAEYC Code of Ethical Conduct for Adult Learners. This speaks to only providing professional development on content which you hold the knowledge, experience, and expertise in. Here is a list of who this credential may be geared toward. Please note that this is not an inclusive list. I did get a question, can I apply to be a content specialist trainer as well as a level 1, 2, or 3 credential trainer? There really wouldn't be a point in doing both. You would be welcome to do that, but as a level 1, 2, or 3 credential trainer, what we're saying is if you hold the knowledge and expertise to do both, just go for the level 1, 2, or 3 credential trainer and provide that content in both in those areas. Otherwise, you're basically paying us twice, and there's no reason to do that because a level 1, 2, or 3 credential trainer really does cover all of the content areas. When determining eligibility for the credential, we look at the following information from each candidate: their education level, their professional experience working directly with children and families, such as a head teacher, assistant teacher, or center director, something along those lines, family child care provider, as well as their professional experience providing professional development to the early childhood providers in the field. Through December 31st of 2015, the following alternate pathways have been created for each level of the credential to assist current providers of professional development with a route that meets their background. It's important to note on this chart that every level requires a minimum of 2 years direct professional experience working with children and families. Also note that this chart is for the 2015 calendar year, and in 2016 the requirements will increase. As a visual, here are some of the courses that are considered related field credits. In the event you feel you've taken a course that's not listed and you feel is related, you'll need to provide proof of the early childhood content in the course through the course description and syllabus. Please know that transcripts are coded in the Aspire system, and this is closely looked at for the credentialing process. So therefore, when you submit your documentation to Aspire, you want to make sure you submit all of your transcripts. To become a level 1, 2, or 3 credential trainer, you must complete that individual professional profile on the New York Works for Children website. Identify yourself as a trainer and submit any supporting documentation to New York Works for Children within 10 days. Again, remember to submit copies of your transcripts in addition to degrees that you hold. The approval process through Aspire takes 6 to 8 weeks. Once approved, you'll receive your career ladder level and your Aspire certificate. With this approval, you're then eligible to complete the intent to apply with New York State AEYC as a level 1, 2, or 3 credential trainer on the New York State AEYC website. With this, please note that it's your responsibility to move into this process on your own once approved through Aspire. Just as with the content specialist trainer, you'll not be contacted by New York State AEYC or Aspire to say, now you can apply for this credential. When completing your intent to apply, you will choose credential trainer and the level that you're applying for based on your education and experience in the field of early care and learning. You'll pay the $100 non-refundable application fee. Once the form is submitted and New York State AEYC receives the application fee, you'll be contacted within 10 business days to inform you of your eligibility for the approved trainer type of level 1, 2, or 3 credential trainer. Eligible candidates will then move into part 1 of the process with New York State AEYC and will have 30 days to complete the professional verification process. Once the 3 references are received and verified, the candidate will continue on to part 2 of the process and have 90 days to complete the portfolio process, as well as pay the $250 assessment and review fee. This is a 120-day timeline to complete. Failure to comply with timeframes can result in additional administrative and processing fees, and applications that go inactive for a period of 30 days will be deactivated, and candidates will have to reapply with New York State AEYC. In your Aspire application, you'll be inputting previous employers for both your direct care experience and your experience providing professional development. We ask that you try to choose 3 individuals to write on your behalf from this list for verification purposes. Letters directly to New York State AEYC, they will not be accepted from candidates for verification purposes. Once references have been approved, you'll be given 90 days to complete the portfolio process. The portfolio will address the competencies in the 4 knowledge-based areas: knowledge of content, instructional design and development, presentation skills, and professionalism. You'll need to choose 2 trainings, 2 consultations, or 1 training and 1 consultation to base your portfolio on. You'll choose based on what you do in your day-to-day work. If you only do group trainings, you'll submit 2 separate group trainings in your portfolios. If you only provide consultation services or technical assistance services, that is what your portfolio will be based on. However, if you do both, your portfolio should contain 1 group training and 1 consultation. Please pay close attention to what constitutes an eligible training or consultation. We ask that you do not exceed the timeframes offered in the definitions for trainings or consultations. Remember that the portfolio is based on community-based, non-credit-bearing, face-to-face group trainings or consultations. For each training or consultation you've chosen to use in your portfolio, you'll write an essay following the portfolio instructions and using the scoring tool on your knowledge of content, instructional design and development, and submit your evaluations for the presentation skills section. The portfolio will conclude with an essay on professionalism. For additional information on completing the portfolio, please participate in the webinar titled Completing Part 2 of the New York State Early Learning Trainer Credential, the Portfolio. During this webinar, the expectations for each section are given, as well as important reminders are provided for the completion of the portfolio. Portfolios are reviewed by New York State Early Learning Trainer Credential trained reviewers. All reviewers hold the level 1, 2, or 3 credential. Reviewers use the portfolio scoring tool, which is provided to you so that you can understand how the scoring is completed. Reviewers start at the 0 rating and move up from there. Please know that all criteria in each number box must be met to receive the score. If the credential is awarded, you'll be notified via email regarding the approval, and your certificate will be mailed to you, and you'll receive an email on how to have your portfolios returned to you. If the credential is deferred, you'll receive your portfolios back with a letter stating the specific areas you scored a 2 or below on in the portfolio scoring tool so that you can make changes and additions to your portfolio and resubmit within 60 days, along with the $150 resubmission review fee. If the credential is denied, you'll be notified via a letter that will also state the areas that you scored a 2 or below in. The credential is denied when a score of less than 65 is achieved or a portfolio is deferred twice. Candidates who are denied can reapply 1 year after denial. Please remember, if you are denied, you can still train, however, you will not be able to accept EIP dollars. So here are some supports that are available. We're looking at rolling out the 6-part Trainer Institute series this fall again. So we're working on getting locations together that are cost effective because the funding stream is no longer available. We're not able to subsidize that, so we're trying to keep it affordable by finding some free venues, and we're working on trying to get all of that worked out. So we hope to roll that out shortly. The webinars are also recorded and archived on the website, so you're always able to go back to them. And you can use me as a resource at any time via phone or email. I will take any other questions that anybody has at this time regarding the level 1, 2, or 3 credential trainer or any other approved trainer types that we discussed today. So here is all of my contact information for you. Feel free to contact me anytime via email or phone. And I look forward to working with you as you choose your pathway for the New York State Early Learning Trainer Credential. Thank you for your interest in improving the quality of training through the New York State Early Learning Trainer Credential. Have a great day.